Namaste, everyone. So, till others join, I would like to introduce Lakshay to Tara and to Sabina. Tara is from Milan, from AVI Italy, and Sabina is from the Sri Aurobindo and Mother Center in Bologna, Sovignano. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Sovignano, yes. We're waiting for Secretary Ma'am to join and the officers from our end to join. We have with us. We have Secretary Ma'am with us. Ma'am, are you able to hear us? We we cannot see you. Sure. We have with us Dr. Sita Raman ji. He's the OSD for Auroville Foundation. We also have with us Dr. Venu ji, Honorary Consultant to Auroville Foundation. Namaste. We have we are waiting for the secretary. Ma'am is here, but we're not able to hear her. We want him to join. We have sent him the link. Ma'am is here. Namaste. Sabina. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It's such short notice, and thank you, Secretary Ma'am. Usually, it is very difficult to have people who say it's okay, we'll go on another platform, but the show must go on. So, thank you. And let me introduce everyone. We have Lakshay with us. He is a resident of Auroville. We have the Secretary of Auroville Foundation, Dr. Jayanti Ravi. We have with us, I already introduced the two other officers from Auroville. We have Sabina from the Sri Aurobindo and Mothers Center from Sovignano, Italy. And we have Tara from Milan, from AVI, Italy. Welcome to Auroville Calling. Namaste. So I would request, before we start the conversation, I would like to request Secretary Ma'am, if you can give your opening comments, and then we start the conversation. Thank you so much, ma'am. May I request Sabina, if you can share with us in the next 2 minutes, very briefly, of what happens in the center that you have made in Italy. I remember when I was there, I called it a mini Auroville. It was like that for me. It was so beautiful, it was so warm, how you took care of me, and the landscaping that you have done, the beauty, the discipline. So please share with us, and then at the end of that you can also ask a question, and we will have Secretary Ma'am, we will have Lakshay, our officers, answer your questions. Over to you. So we'll request Secretary Ma'am if you would want to respond to that and answer that question. And also if Lakshay wants to take it up, what is the possibility of having a permanent exhibition and how we can collaborate with the center? Akshay, how about if we look at a possibility of having a yearly exhibition of some of the key works of Agni and have it in one of our, whether it's Bharat Nivas and Unity Pavilion. Yeah, right. Yeah. Hmm. Lovely. Thank you so much, Sabina. May I now request Tara? Tara, if you could please share with us in brief of what are the activities that is happening under AVI Italy and what are the possibilities of collaboration? How do you see that you can bring more people, the youth of Italy, to come to Auroville and to explore the city of evolving consciousness? So, over to you. So that's the question also, that how do they take it forward with limited resources available over there? And because the answer is also pretty much there in the conversation, that if this becomes a part of existing courses in universities, so if they get a credit for coming to Auroville and doing this, these kind of courses like you mentioned about sustainability, about power, about conscious fashion, all of that is possible. And Lakshay, can you please share your thoughts on how we can help them, or if we can write to universities from Auroville Foundation? That is also a possibility that Secretary Ma'am had mentioned, that we are planning to write to universities across the globe. And I don't think it will be a very difficult thing to achieve that. We have already started it in India. Auroville is going to offer a lot of courses via Swayam Plus, which is managed by IIT Madras, and these courses will be available to students across India. There are some courses which are online, there are some courses which will be hybrid. For some time they have to be here, and the rest of that can be online. And there are some courses which have to be completely residential over here. So all those possibilities are available. So Lakshay, over to you.
kind of dossiers would you need? So those are the things which we can support you with. And if you need government to government support, then there is, or Indian government, I think, is more than willing to initiate from their side. And another opportunity is also, both countries have commerce chambers and other inter people uh, mediating bodies, which we can, student bodies and commerce bodies and other initiatives which we can perhaps leverage. So I leave at this thoughts. Maybe we can have more conversation later.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lakshay. If we have Secretary Ma'am available, I would also request her to come in and share her thoughts on how we can collaborate with these centers. Meanwhile, yes, ma'am is here.
So I think possibilities of collaboration, there are many, as we said. To begin with, even if there are some of the regular members who come there, if they want to come for short periods, 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, to Auroville to volunteer, I think that is a possibility. In the absence of it, even if these meetings that we are just starting, Auroville calling, if you feel you want to have some more of your people invited, let us say 10 days from now or 20 days from now, and have us have a town hall meeting with them online, where we explain about all that Auroville is doing. And if they have any questions, you can collect it and we can have an interaction. Because we also realize in the same breath, Tara and Sabina, as Malika mentioned when she came back and told me, there's a lot of, unfortunately, misinformation. While the city had to go in a certain direction, somewhere along the lines, this is, I'm not trying to blame or, do any of this finger pointing, but somewhere we deflected from the main goal. The city building also came to a bit of a standstill. There was stagnation, there was decadence. And it's for the first time in the last 3 years that, again, there's a lot of renewed hope. The government of India, the governing board, is really keen on implementing Mother's plan with full sincerity. Of course, there are hurdles that keep coming, but then to ensure that we don't deviate anything to suit our preferences. Our includes Aurovillians, but her vision, Mother's vision, has to be kept at the central position, at the highest priority. We cannot change it. And that's the only thing she asks of us in the charter, to become willing servitors. So, in terms of specific asks, volunteering. Number two, if there is a possibility of having another town hall meeting with, I'm sure I've seen some of your beautiful videos when you have functions there, and I've seen there is one center, perhaps the Milano Center, where you have a full image of Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and there are people. Is that the Milano Center, Sabina, or we can't hear you? You're
You need to
muted.
you need to unmute yourself, Sabina.
Sorry. Yes, no, the center is between Modena and Bologna. We are 30 minutes from Bologna airport.
Okay.
Yes, we have every Darsan, we do celebrations.
Celebrations. So
for
I've
us.
seen your statue and all the beautiful things that you put up there, and there are many people who come. So if there's a way to reach out to them. The third thing, we want in every country to set up something called, which our governing board has approved about 3 meetings ago, set up something called Auroville International Information Center. So now for the whole of Italy, if we can have one center set up initially to start with, but we could also have multiple centers, then it allows for a two-way movement. Now suppose we have all these 700 to 800 units here. Let's say some of the volunteers from here want to come there and participate in some of the works. Some of your people want to come here. All these possibilities become open, and we can open a small outlet where, from fragrances, Maroma products, to some of the garments, let's say of Upasana, there's so many things made here. We can also have that be sold or offered, and have a more integral participation. So these are some immediate things. Even screening of films, books that are made at Auroville, they can be. So we basically have to see how to have more and more possibilities of in a vibrant way interacting with our centers. And you are the first center that we're speaking to. So we are also slowly learning, collecting our thoughts, how to take this forward. So we may not have all the answers, but if you have some suggestions, cultural exchanges. Now we have a very vibrant Bharat Nivas. We have a lot of programs happening there. If there are some of you who want to come here and perform, it could be music, dance, art exhibitions. We would be very happy to facilitate it. And likewise, if there are some devotees from here who want to go there and offer, for example, even Savitri paintings. I did hear that you have a lot of them. Would you like to come and do an exhibition here? We'll be very happy to
Okay, yes,
open our facility.
we are coming in January. I have
Yeah.
a meeting with Dhanalashmi in Savitri Bhavan. We will have one exhibition of, I think, 2 weeks. So please, I will share with Monica the invitation for you also. Also,
Excellent.
Luca Baldesi spoke to me about you often. So
Oh, okay.
hope to see you all.
Lovely. I look forward to. I don't know if I'll be there at that time, but I look forward to.
Okay.
So I think the possibilities are there. Even scientific, if there are projects of science, because this is a place of bold experimentation of the inner and outer. So if there are universities in Bologna, these are some of the
Yes.
oldest universities in the world,
In
in
fact,
Italy.
just now I have found a project where I can give the opportunities to students of philosophical university to come give and stay here with us for some time and doing their thesis. So now I am opening my center to this. It's just a new project. I'm starting now it. So after I will update you.
Excellent. And likewise, if there are people from there who want to come to India and
Okay.
collaborate, now we have a partnership now with IIT Madras, which is an institute of national importance for startups and all of it. But we also have Pondicherry University, which is nearby. There is a Sri Aurobindo chair. Now there are Sri Aurobindo chairs being set up in 150 institutions across India. Sita Ramanji will tell you these are some of the top institutions from agriculture to technology to architecture across the country. So if you want your students also to come here and study some area of work, it could be biology, it could be because Sri Aurobindo and Mother have written on just about every subject under the sky. So if we want to take up one area and do research from the standpoint or viewpoint of consciousness and what Sri Aurobindo said, that is also possible. So we can have research, we can have extension, we can also have training. For example, we have a physical education board. We have been collaborating with the ashram, and incidentally, we have two outstanding people here. In addition to one is somebody called Praveen Kapoor. He is the director of physical education in the ashram, and we also have another lady called Savitri from America, who's a Pilates expert. She's been in Auroville for a long time, and two more people, Pedro and Rubens. Giacomo is from Italy, from your country, you know him. Now, these are all outstanding people that we have. So, we are starting a program for training people from India and abroad to come here, do a short duration course, and they will get a certification, for
Good.
mixed martial art, all of it. So all these possibilities are there. So if you have some ideas too, we are more than happy to welcome it. I hope this answers your question.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Just like we observed that a lot of students in India were also not aware of what is happening in Auroville, if there is a place like Auroville that exists. And so we made an initiative to go to these premium institutes across India and talk about Sri Aurobindo, not in a very formal manner, just have conversation with students, show them a film. Now that is what works these days. So there's a beautiful film made by Sri Aurobindo Society, and across India we have done it in 2 and 3 languages. And if we can also make an Italian version of it with subtitles and everything, we can totally work upon that. And like Madam suggested, that if we can have Zoom town halls where we do online conferences, if you can organize it with universities in your city or your locality, we will be very happy to facilitate it from Auroville. We can also have people who speak your language. We have a lot of Italian people in Auroville, and we can have people, if the university is okay with English, we have wonderful speakers, and we can, show the film, we can have discussions. And in that way, students get motivated, then we will have them. The next step would be to bring them to Auroville. So that is totally possible, like Secretary Ma'am said. And may I request OSD sir, Venugopal sir, if you would like to share something.
Yes, madam. Actually, madam, recently we have signed a MOU with the IIT Madras, one of the premier institutions regarding the sustainability and green technology. Also, under Ministry of Culture Fund, we are planning to do virtual museum, that is to focus on augmented reality as well as the virtual reality. Also, we have identified the top 150 institutions, madam, under NIRF ranking, so that we have frequently discussed with Ministry of Culture to ask them to give proposal. So we are not only the spiritual organization, madam, we are equally contributing on research and various activities, whatever the secretary madam and Lakshay and Maulika madam said that. So that now there are a lot of openings, and we are also encouraging now under Y20 and Yuva Sangam, the from various states within India, they have visited our Auroville and they have enjoyed and they are ready to come as a newcomer. So we are always encouraging the people to collaborate in various activities, madam, because of which is located near to Pondicherry. So Pondicherry University is there as well as IIT, and we are signing a lot of MOU with national importance institutions to do lot of activities. Also, recently the secretary madam initiated to give a study of Auroville by IIT Kharagpur and IIM Mumbai as well as IIT Allahabad. So they are also giving their reports. Based on that, we are keep on working and we are updating ourselves. Here, the people, even though it is a government organization, it's like a spiritual organization, madam. Even though it is a government, it's a spiritual organization, and people having experience in diverse field, madam. So that's why everyone is whoever is coming, they are actually they want to continue in Auroville. This is the present setup in Auroville, madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, madam.
And as we've promised, in every video or in every episode, we will talk about some current developments in Auroville, which is something a lot of people are very, very curious about. That what is exactly happening in Auroville? Like ma'am mentioned, that there's been a lot of misinformation, and Auroville, which is people ask that is it true that Auroville is supposed to have 50,000 people, and whether it's possible. So let me ask Lakshay to answer these questions along. So two things. One is the current developments. How are we bridging the gap? So where we lost track and how we are coming back. So over to you, Lakshay. Lakshay, you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so regarding misinformation, I don't know what to say. I would, in fact, like I said in Shurabindo's yoga, nothing is out, no? So we should welcome misinformation also. It's beautiful that they are doing misinformation because it's reaching more and more people. And if there is a curiosity within these people who are listening to this misinformation, I think the intelligence, basic intelligence, requires you to look at multiple angles, perspectives of that. And when they come to know about those realities, perhaps they can make their own mind. I don't think we should necessarily speak about it. However, I would still do it in a way. The way I see it, I mean, I moved here 10 years ago, and I moved here based on what everyone does. Also, look at Auroville.org website. You get inspired by Shravindo, Mother. And another aspect which you cannot miss is the part called city. So the way what I have come to learn is that when Auroville was inaugurated, two things were certain: charter and the Galaxy Plan. They both were inaugurated on 28th of February. So from 65 onwards, she worked with Roger to create the Galaxy Plan. So it is irrefutable kind of fact of Auroville. And what we are doing, the current reality that you're talking about is a little bit surrounding this idea of city and development and roads and things like that. But these are, in my view, the basics. I mean, if you look at the galaxy plan, I mean, there are buildings. Again, city and nature is together. I mean, the people, when people ask about this idea of city, I say this: we should make the city for the sake of environment. You may ask me why, because this is the only city in the world, in my view, which has 87% green space. In 20 square kilometer area, you have 5 square kilometer in the center, which is the city area. 15 square kilometer is a green belt, and within the city also you have about more than 50% is a green area with parks and cycle routes and stuff like that. So if you calculate it, it's about 85-90% of it is all green. We must manifest the city to show the world that you can create a dense living. I'm not going to go into any spiritual aspect of it. I'm going to talk in a very practical way. It is possible to create a high density city urban space, though focusing on environment and beauty and simplicity. So it is a possibility, and that's what we all in wanted to do for last 57 years. In fact, mother wanted the city to happen in 10 years. We passed that in before Sri Aurobindo's, in fact, initially before Sri Aurobindo's 100th anniversary, that was 72. And Roger said, no, 5 years is too short, 4 years is too short. So she said, okay, 10 years. No? But then we just prolonged it. Now, ma'am also said that now the government of India is keen on manifesting the city that mother wanted. It's great that they are supporting, but it's only a support. In fact, there are many Aurovillians who came back then itself, and they are struggling. In fact, Roger Angers struggled in Auroville for so long to make people agree to the city idea. It was not easy, all along. So in that sense, those who came in the 70s or 60s with the idea of participating in a city, they were 20-year-old, 30-year-olds. Now they are 50. They are, sorry, they are now 70, 80. So they are also giving a lot of push. Ma'am knows, all the, Pierre Legrand or in fact Anu or, Jaya. These are the people who came back in the 70s, no? Some in the 60s also. So they are also wanting the city to happen because they are tired of fighting this narrative of eco village, of, this should be a forest and things like that. So the idea is, how do we move forward? And I request the residents, I request everyone to participate in this manifestation, because the more you move out, the more you divorce yourself from the reality, the more you need to depend on outside agencies to work. What if, like I said in the beginning, what if we take up work? What if we say that we are ready to act? We are here to participate in action, not in boycotting, not in saying that, oh, this is not our work, not to say that, oh, this is outside force that is coming. All this fear mongering, or this kind of attitude that, oh, my way or highway, this has been the problem. The crown road is not a problem. The idea of my way or highway is a problem. If we all sit together and try to find a way, I believe there is a way. And and then we are only talking about one aspect of Molika. When we are talking about this, misinformation, it all boils down to the idea of sustainability. I gave an argument why it makes sense to manifest the city for the sake of sustainability. Then it becomes an example. By just keeping it as a reserve, just keeping it for 1,000, 2,000 people, and saying that, oh, we are now a reserve forest, how is that an example for outside body? We are not even an example for other forests then, because we have created a city within the forest. So neither we are forest nor city, we are somewhere in between. So that's what we are trying to bring clarity on. And then, why do we forget that Auroville is also, the center of Auroville is a peace zone? What Auroville can mean or stand for, or become a beacon of hope for the entire world, particularly in the times that we are going through, what's happening in the west of Asia or Europe, or in fact east of Asia or Africa. We need the idea of Auroville. That's almost like a hope. No, in my view, we are doing a great disservice by talking ill of Auroville instead of talking about the positive aspects of Auroville. That's what world needs, not one more protest or activism. I say, if you want to change, come and work, change. By protesting, it's not going to help. The protesting and boycotting the entire world is doing. How are we any different in Auroville? Filing court cases, that's the way of the outside world, right? If we have an issue, we go out to the court, to the third party, right? We are doing the same in Auroville. How are we teaching the world a new way forward for peace, for conflict resolution, for standing up for all the human rights? I think we are missing a big opportunity right now, what we could have been, what we could be, and what we are reeling under. So peace, the idea of human unity is the message that we should take forward. That's what I mean. Even if it's a misinformation, if people are intrigued by the idea of Auroville and then they go to the idea of Mother said, no, Auroville is there for manifesting human unity. If they can go to that idea and that triggers them, that triggers a curiosity to learn more about Auroville, that's a great service also in that sense. And then we have the idea of, see, it's also not easy to, we may hear stories from one faction or the other, but the reality is that the unity amongst 60 nationalities is not a joke, is not a easy game. Even within our families we have so many differences, and then on top of it we have residents from all over India, in North India and South India and East India, West India. We have very many different cultural ideas about what is progressive. Even the idea of progress is very different in a rural India than a urban India. Now we go to Asian countries. Now we have the East and the West. We have so many people from America and Europe who are staying here. So conflict, in my view, is positive. Even, I would be very skeptical if somebody tells me that there are 3,000 residents and there is nothing going on. They are all holding hands every day and sharing potluck. I will be very skeptical of joining this. Then it will look like a cult to me, right? I think I look at these these disagreements as a way to ponder, think, reflect, and find ways to come together. So I would like to leave these misinformation in a positive light. Why not?
Thank you so much,
I mean,
Lakshay.
if it inspires artists to make more art, if it inspires dancers to protest by making a performance, if it inspires an architect to make a memorial, why not? No, these are all positive action. No, why not? If it inspires. So, Mother also said Auroville will be known through its art and culture. So, if my appeal to those who are a little bit troubled is that, can you channel your energy towards something positive, even if you are not, even if the things are not sitting pretty within you. Try to see how you can concentrate and try to see how you can channel them in a positive way. And our friends in other countries who do not have the clear picture, I mean, this in itself shows Tara and Sabina are sitting with us and trying to listen to what we are doing. So how are you assuming that this misinformation is working? No, in my view, there is the curiosity to know what's happening. No?
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank
I'm
you so
sorry if I
much.
gave a long answer.
No, thank you so much. You wrapped it up so beautifully. And I remember asking Secretary Ma'am also that can we have all kinds of questions? Can we have difficult questions? Can we just read out the allegations that's there on social media? And she said, yes, bring it on. We'll answer
Yes,
everything.
why not?
In a family of 4 or 5 people, there is conflict, there is disagreement, and every conflict is an opportunity to grow. So thank you
Exactly.
so much for bringing this, all of this, in such a positive light. And so if we have to conclude the conversation and the session, one way is to find as many ways of collaborating and bringing students from Italy. I also, before I forget, thank you so much, Sabina. Your center, Agni, you all have been such an inspiration, because I remember Tara mentioning it so many times that you all have not just being supportive in principle, but also you have financially helped the Milano Center with whatever that you are doing in Sovignano. That's lovely. And that shows the spirit of Auroville and what we are now trying to talk about, the knowledge and the wisdom of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. So, Madam has already mentioned to us in many meetings that we should write to all the universities across the globe. Ma'am is also here with us. If ma'am would like to share some thoughts on this, that we can write from Auroville Foundation, we can write letters to all the universities to invite volunteers, interns to come here and live in Auroville, do their internships, and also have credit courses which are affiliated by the universities, and they will also get a certificate. So it will not be
Absolutely. I would totally agree with Malika. In fact, even when people say that Mother didn't believe in marketing Auroville, this is not about marketing. But if you see some of the senior Aurovillians today from Netherlands, Italy, and all, there are many of them who, when they were in university and college, found a full set of books of Sri Aurobindo in their library. And there was also a lot of advertisements or information about Auroville in the in-flight magazines back then in the 60s and 70s when Auroville was being inaugurated. So people came, the first caravan, second caravan in big numbers. So again, we want to reach out through you. If you are our ambassadors there. So if Tara, Sabina, and all of you, if you can reach out to universities, colleges there, and also young people, because I think this hunger for evolving, this aspiration is not something which is restricted to some people. I think any person from any geography genuinely can have this quest for a better life, for a divine life on earth. So if there is a way to reach out and let them know about this place on earth, a very unparalleled place where we have this possibility, and if they can actually come here, I think that would be, even if we get 5 people like that from Italy to start with, who want to come here, volunteer in farms, green belt, just about any area. If they want to do something new, also we are open. We have a lot of possibilities of starting a new startup, something new that they want to do, and of course, courses. So we again thank you both for your time, but we want to see this culminate in something beautiful.
Welcome. Welcome.
I'm sorry. I tried already. It's almost 1 year that I'm trying to contact the universities. My problem again is that I'm alone and I'm a teacher. So if they receive a mail from me, maybe they will not even reply. This is my
But
main issue.
we can also send a mail from here. You tell us which are the universities you want to send, and from our office we can send a mail and asking them to have you as the nodal person to reach out to them. So we can empower you to be the nodal person for Auroville, if that helps, so that you can start. So if we get, or if there are other volunteers, other devotees in that geography, if you feel those names, they will be sincerely willing and able to do this, we can issue such a letter saying that
Yes.
we'll be happy to do that.
Thank you. To whom can I write? Because I don't have, I just have the contact of Sabina, but I don't have your.
Monica will be the right person.
I will share the
Monica
details.
is with us. She will.
Thank you.
We have Venugopal sir with us, and I would like to request sir to please come in and share some of your thoughts. Venugopal.
Good evening.
Namaste.
Yes. Good evening to all. This education, certainly it is a collaborations with not only universities, and we have got so many small cultural institutions like Mahabalipuram. We got one sculptures institute, and also BJTA in Bombay, as well as Lalit Kala Academy, and all those students also we can have tie up to promote this culture. Because in take if you Mahabalipuram, that resources are very poor, that limited, so that if you argument along with the international experts, they may get benefit, as well as our students will get benefit in modern arts or Western arts also. So that one, the sustainable development and all, many courses we can organize. It is very, we can organize. Now this climate change, school of climate change and all we can open, and through that we can collaborate. That we definitely need of the hour, and we can do that. And many are interested. And also now in NEP 2020, it is not necessary that the people should have a minimum qualification and all. Anybody can join and these type of courses and earn the credit and academic bank credit. They can academic bank credit is there. They can use it for their higher studies in any colleges or during the curriculum. So abundant scopes are there. And in the internationalization of education, many of the students from Nepal and Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan, all are interested in coming over and do these type of special studies. So there's a lot of scope. Even if residentially, we can plan once in a workshop of 15 days or 20 days in Auroville. That will definitely will help all our students and all of our life. And regarding the spiritual course, one is we can make some. Definitely, it is required. We can make some endowment schemes also, so that they instead of we are sending leaflets and all. Many of our person visitors who are coming there, we can arrange some of the universities to have their lectures in the external lectures in IITs and all, so that students. And the many important thing is, if we go with the college and all these type of spiritual and special courses, it may not be effective. We have to start with the elementary school level. They have to make the curriculum in such a way that it will attract the younger minds at the age of 7 to 13, first batch, and 13 to 14 to 18. Like that, 2 modules if they make, then this outturn will be very high. Because we have to induct the students at the earlier age, so that the binding will be there. Instead of going at the 18 years of age, at the time the students may not be interested. So it is better to have at primary level itself these to be introduced. So the situation that we have to make a small projects or which can suit the primary kids. Like that, we have to make this art enabled to split up into small modules and help. This is my observation. But definitely, certainly, a lot of hopes are there, and many of the students are interested. And now the NEP encourages extracurricular, and also it is not required to have a formal education and all. Anybody can come and acquire the credit, and they can make use of it. This is the right time they can start. Even the courses starting from any arts, science, or creative technology, or computer science, even advanced course of sustainable development, aerospace engineering, and others also is possible. Thank you so much.